Thank you very much. Thank you very much. First of all, I am reminded very vividly by Congressman Kennedy's remarks that my co-sponsor and champion of passing the Iranian-Libyan Sanction Act, which decades ago was none other than the great senator, his dad, Senator Ted Kennedy. And there it was. I'm going to be somewhat political because this whole process is very political in nature. There was two senators, two different political parties, two different persuasions, one a liberal, one more conservative. We came together with a common voice for the cause of freedom and protecting the interest of the United States of America first, to say that we were not going to allow the regimes of Libya and Iran, regimes that were dedicated to our destruction. And you look at 9/11, and you look at the horrors of Lockerbie, the plane that was knocked out, both countries working together against the United States and its interests and its citizens, innocent civilians being killed. And that's how we came together in the passage of that legislation, which unfortunately has been emasculated by one administration after the other, whether led by Republicans or Democrats in the White House, and with the cooperation, and I might say, encouragement of the State Department, regardless of who was leading the State Department. I'll tell you, when you look back and you watch and analyze the operation of the department, and we've had many great secretaries, and I mean no disrespect to any one of them, it appears to me that the department continues to be run by the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs of the old. They know what's best. Oh, those politicians up on the Hill and the new secretary and deputies, they really don't know. They got to listen to us. We've been captured by them and the bureaucracy of the UN so that they decide what's good. They decide what information. They decide whether or not the American people should get the truth. Otherwise, how is it that the American people don't know that a guy who we have propped up, put in, spent our blood, our treasury, our youngsters who've given up their lives for freedom, for the safety of this country, the hundreds of billions of dollars that we have poured into Iraq, that we are supporting a corrupt, vicious dictator who is working with the Iranian mullahs to destroy this country. Incredible. Incredible. I'm almost on the verge of giving the person who I support as president an idea that's long overdue. Stand up and say, take our young men and women out of Iraq now, because this guy over there is only working to undercut the United States, not to help us and to suppress us and to support the Iranians. Now is the time to stand up. We don't have the guts in either party to acknowledge the truth. In Afghanistan, another guy, Karzai, his family involved in drug trafficking, etc. We look the other way. How come? 80,000 young men and women over there. Let me tell you, I want to get the enemies of the United States. Are we going to start putting troops in every area of the world? We have a handful of Al-Qaeda. If you have to take them on, take them on. But don't put 80,000 troops in there. Lose them every day to a corrupt, rotten administration that as soon as we take them out, they're going to go back to their fighting. Use some practicality. You ever heard the statement, the enemy of my enemy is my friend? It has some application. MEK has been the sworn enemy of the corrupt mullahs who are there now. Let's make them our friend. Let's use them. Let's bring down terrorism. You know, Speaker Hastert, he has it. He knows. Where do you hurt this little group who is manipulating the policies of this country? And I'm not saying that they don't do some good work at some times. Expose them. Expose the UN. Take them on where it hurts. Begin to say, build in a program of sanctions against just giving them money. If they continue to distort the truth, hide. Camp Liberty. What a deception. What a duplicitous joke. Cruel. Cruel. I'll bet you that name came out of the UN. Camp Liberty. Let me tell you, you got to organize. You got to be out there. And while your group has done a great job in bringing the attention to, yes, congressmen and senators and important leaders, there's a public that has to be educated. How do you educate them? I'll tell you. We should be marching in front of the UN. We should be exposing the so-called Camp Liberty to what's taking place. We should be asking members of Congress to cut off funding to the UN. We should look at the Secretary's office. A Secretary of State's office, the State Department, which has defied the legitimate mandates of the court. More than 600 days have gone by since they were ordered to make their findings. I congratulate Attorney General Mukasey for his dedication and his fight. And let's see what takes place on October 1st, because I wouldn't venture to say if the State Department and the lawyers will come in under some guise of national security and request a postponement of the decision. Don't be surprised if they don't come up with some legal gimmick the last second before the circuit court and plead in that interest and try to keep this shrouded. The last thing they want is the American public to find out what is taking place. That our hundreds of billions of dollars, that our most valuable treasury, that of our young men and women whose lives have been given because we wanted to root out a ruthless dictator in Iraq. We have now supplanted him with an equally dangerous, if not more dangerous, opponent to the United States in the government that exists in Iraq today. One that has become the tool and the captive of the Iranian mullahs. The American people have a right to know. That's our job and your job, to let them know. Yours is a tough battle, because for years no one has been able to really get a handle on the UN or the State Department. Speaker Hastert says it well. Get them where it hurts. That's where the money is. And I have to tell you, I participated in a panel, and there I learned shockingly, when the general who was in charge of that particular Camp Ashra, when it came into its early days, General David Phillips, spoke so eloquently that he was shocked and disappointed after checking all of the people who entered the camp, looking for those spies, looking for those anti-American people, looking for those who would bring harm to our country, putting them through vigorous security checks, and he couldn't find one out of the approximately 3,000, not one. And then he wondered, what were his men doing there? Why were these people there? Now we call Camp Liberty something that people think they should be proud of. We should be shocked. We should be horrified. And we can and should do everything we can to bring this to the attention of the public and rally them to our cause. The Iraqis are no friends of ours. I'd go after them. And the UN, as long as it distorts the truth, we have a duty and obligation to expose that. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator D'Amato. And thank you